Today we will be discussing the K-1 visa and marriage petitions. Please like and subscribe to our channel before we start for more future updates. What is a K-1 visa? The foreign citizen fiancé of an American citizen is eligible for a K-1 non-immigrant visa. The K-1 visa enables the foreign national's fiancé to visit the country and wed the sponsor, a U.S. citizen, within 90 days of arrival. The foreign citizen will next submit an application for status adjustment to become a permanent resident with U.S. citizenship and immigration services under the Department of Homeland Security. The fiancé must fulfill some requirements for an immigrant visa because a fiancé visa allows the holder to move to the U.S. and marry a U.S. citizen shortly after arriving in the country. Children of K-1 visa holders who qualify are granted K-2 visas. What is a fiancé? According to U.S. immigration law, a foreign citizen's fiancé who is also a U.S. citizen must have an accepted petition for alien fiancé, Form I-129F, in order to go to the U.S. and marry their U.S. citizen partner. Both the K-1 visa applicant and the U.S. citizen must have been legally able to get married at the time the petition was filed and must have continued to be able to do so after that. According to the rules of the U.S. state where the marriage will take place, the union must be lawful. The foreign citizen fiancé and the U.S. citizen sponsor must, in general, have personally interacted within the last 2 years. If it would be extremely difficult for the U.S. citizen sponsor to personally meet the foreign citizen fiancé, or, for instance, if it would be against the culture of the U.S. citizen sponsor or the foreign citizen fiancé for a man and woman to meet before marriage, USCIS may grant an exception to this requirement. The first step, filing the petition. The USCIS office that services your neighborhood is where you must submit Form I-129F, Petition for Alien Fiancé, as the U.S. citizen sponsor. For information on where to file the petition, see direct filing addresses for Form I-129F, Petition for Alien Fiancé. On the USCIS website, click on Fiancé Visas for further details. You should be aware that you cannot submit Form I-129F at a U.S. embassy, consulate, or USCIS office abroad. The petition is transmitted to the National Visa Center after USCIS accepts it. Your petition will be sent to the U.S. Embassy or consulate where your fiancé resides after the NVC assigns you a case number. The second step, applying for a visa. When the NVC forwards your fiancé case to the American Embassy or consulate, a letter will be mailed to you. Instruct your fiancé to perform the steps listed below to apply for a K-1 visa and get ready for the interview as soon as you receive this letter. Children of K-1 visa holders who qualify may apply for K-2 visas. Each applicant for a K visa is required to submit a separate application and pay the visa application cost. Review additional U.S. Embassy/consulate specific instructions. There might be more instructions for gathering the evidence required for your K visa interview. Check the U.S. Embassy/consulate specific instructions here to find out whether there are any additional requirements. Medical examination and vaccination requirements. Candidates will need to arrange for and finish a medical exam before the interview. Every candidate, regardless of age, must go through a medical examination that must be done by a licensed panel doctor before receiving an immigrant or K visa. The U.S. Embassy or consulate where you apply for your visa will provide you with guidelines regarding medical exams, including information on authorized panel doctors. For further details, including a list of panel doctors by countries and commonly asked questions, see medical examination. The vaccines needed by U.S. immigration law for those applying for immigrant visas are strongly advised for K visa applicants. Although these immunizations are not necessary for the issue of a K visa, they will be necessary when you modify your status to that of a lawful permanent resident after getting married. Thus, applicants are urged to comply with these immunization requirements at the time of the physical examination. For a list of recommended immunizations and more details, see vaccination requirements for 4 applicants. Proof of financial support and affidavit of support forms. Candidates for visas must demonstrate to the consular official during the visa interview that they are not likely to become a public charge in the United States. You can show proof that you can support yourself financially or that your fiancé, a U.S. citizen, can do so. The fiancé who is a U.S. citizen may be asked to file a Form I-134, Affidavit of Support, by the consular officer. Following the marriage, the U.S. citizen fiancé must submit Form I-864 to USCIS together with an application for status adjustment to that of legal permanent residence. Do the same income requirements apply to Form I-134 as apply to Form I-864? No. Only when Form I-864 is required do the 125% of the Federal Poverty Guideline minimum income requirement, the most recent year's tax return, and other requirements apply. The income of the applicant's U.S. sponsor must equal 100% of the federal poverty threshold when submitting Form I-134. Rights and protections. Before your visa interview, you should read the Rights and Protections leaflet to learn about your protection options and rights with regard to domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse in the United States. During your interview, the consular officer will provide you with a verbal summary of the brochure. As part of the processing of their Form I-129F petitions, USCIS obtained any criminal background information on the U.S. citizen fiancé of K-1 visa petitioners from various governmental organizations. Ineligibilities for visas. You, the applicant, might not be eligible for a visa if you engage in certain circumstances and behaviors. Drug trafficking, overstaying a previous visa, and submitting forged paperwork are a few examples of these ineligibilities. The consular officer will inform you if you are not eligible for a visa and will explain the process for requesting a waiver if one is available. How long will it take to get my K visa? The amount of time varies from case to case depending on the conditions once your case has been received from NVC by the U.S. Embassy or consulate. Several cases are delayed because applicants don't thoroughly read the guidelines or provide insufficient information. After the visa applicant has been interviewed by a consular officer, certain visa applications need to go through further administrative processing, which takes time. After you receive a K-1 fiancé visa. If a K-1 visa is granted, the consular officer will hand you your passport together with the K-1 visa, a sealed packet including the civil documents you submitted in addition to other paperwork created by the U.S. Embassy or consulate, and the K-1 visa itself. It's crucial that you don't crack the sealed package open. When you enter the country, this packet should only be opened by the DHS immigration official. You must enter the country as the K-1 visa holder either ahead of or concurrently with any eligible children who are K-2 visa holders. You can only apply for one admission at a U.S. port of entry using your visa within its validity period, which is a maximum of 6 months from the date of issuance. Within 90 days of your entrance into the U.S., you must wed your U.S. citizen fiancé. Does my U.S. citizen fiancé need to file separate petitions for my children? No. Your U.S. citizen fiancé must list the children on the petition in order for your eligible children to apply for K-2 visas based on the approval of Form I-129F, Petition for Alien Fiancé, which was filed on your behalf. Each applicant for a K-2 visa must submit a separate visa application and pay the K-visa application fee. Your children will need to submit a separate application for status adjustment from you after your marriage. Entering the United States, port of entry. A visa enables a foreign national to travel to the U.S. port of entry and apply for authorization to enter the country. You should be aware that obtaining a visa does not ensure entrance into the U.S. Officials from the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, have the power to approve or disapprove entry into the U.S. Be prepared to show your passport with visa and the unopened/sealed packet containing your paperwork to the CBP officer when you arrive at the port of entry. On the CBP website, under Travel, there is vital information about admissions and entry criteria that travelers should check. That's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts on our list? Let us know in the comments section below. And make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more future videos.